Have you ever had your life literally change in the blink of an eye? Experienced something so profound that you knew that your life could never be the same? Well, that's exactly what happened to me when testing proved that I put an end to my own hypothyroidism forever. Want to know how I did it? If so, then I want to show you exactly how to naturally and permanently get your life back by stopping hypothyroidism directly at the source. The same exact process that successfully works with each and every one of my clients today. So I know that it will work for you too. Today, 99% of hypothyroidism treatments available are missing key pieces to the hypothyroidism puzzle. They pretty much all promote drugs or supplements, most of which are potentially harmful, which offer nothing but a band-aid fix in an attempt to cover up a much bigger and more serious problem. The truth is that every single day you are unknowingly sabotaging your own health and literally ruining your thyroid by eating foods full of thyroid-suppressing toxins and perpetuating hormonal imbalances that continuously punish your thyroid to the point that it never even has a chance. But you can put an end to all of that starting today, because what you're going to learn over the next few minutes is going to change your life. And more importantly, it might even save your life. I don't care if you feel like you've tried everything. Trust me, you haven't tried this yet. No matter how damaged your thyroid is, your body can and will heal. Sometimes you just have to step outside the box and take more of a revolutionary approach because, let's face it, if you still don't have steady all-day energy or you're still plagued with some nagging symptoms, then what you're doing right now is not working. In this video, I'm going to share with you my powerful 3-step approach that not only eliminates the underlying causes of hypothyroidism, but also kickstarts your thyroid to get up and running in no time. But it doesn't involve any magic pills or powders, so if that's what you're looking for, then you might as well stop watching right now. This information is only for people who are actually dedicated to learning how to overcome their hypothyroidism once and for all. Hi, my name is Tom Burmeyer, and I'm a functional medicine practitioner and author on nutrition and hormones. And as of today, I've helped more than 7,200 people across 51 countries around the world overcome chronic health problems. 5 years ago, I never would have thought that I would have clients all over the United States, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, South Africa, Germany, Italy, Norway, Ireland, and even Latvia, just to name a few. And to be fair to these thousands of people who have already paid good money to use what I'm about to share with you, this presentation will only be available for a short period of time and to a limited number of people, so consider yourself lucky and watch it right now while you still can. Speaking from my own personal and painful experience, which I'll share with you in just a second, I'm sure you feel like you've literally lost control of yourself. You're probably always tired and never have the energy or endurance to make it through your day. It's a struggle just to get out of bed every morning, and you're constantly having to stop, slow down, or even take a nap at times. I'm sure you miss or have even forgotten what it's like to be your old happy and healthy self. Maybe you struggle with your weight no matter what you do or how hard you try. And you find yourself overwhelmed at times with anxiety and worry. Emotionally, you probably feel like you're on a roller coaster ride that you never seem to be able to get off of, and your family's probably saying to themselves, "Oh no, here we go again." The effect that hypothyroidism can have on your family life is a whole other story in itself. Maybe you feel bad because you can't keep up with your children. Intimacy has probably become more of a burden than a pleasure. Regardless, your relationships with your loved ones are suffering, and you probably feel more like a problem than anything. I'm sure you feel like the life has literally been sucked out of you. Did any of those ring a bell for you? If so, then you need what I'm about to share with you because it's going to change your life, so keep watching. Unfortunately, many of those feelings are all too familiar to me. When I was younger, I was an avid athlete and considered myself to be quite healthy. But once I entered the real world and started working long hours and started a family of my own, my health changed for the worse. At first, I developed both elevated cholesterol and blood pressure, and I know now that high cholesterol has been directly and statistically correlated with hypothyroidism since the 1940s, something I'm sure your doctors never shared with you. In fact, here's a graph that shows exactly how bad cholesterol increases as thyroid function decreases with both men and women. Statistically, you can't get more obvious than this. But those are just a couple of the symptoms that I could easily ignore at the time and that my doctor wanted me to believe were entirely genetic. Now more on that in a minute. The real problem started when I began experiencing energy problems throughout the day. It became increasingly more difficult to get out of bed each and every morning to go to work. I started to crash around lunchtime, and when I came home after work, all I could do was lay on the floor, desperately wanting to take a nap. I couldn't handle any bit of stress or else I would become completely overwhelmed and anxious. And I was riddled with guilt and constantly beat myself up because my 2-year-old son at the time, who could literally light up a city block with the amount of energy he contained, all he wanted to do was play. But I felt like I couldn't be there for him and be the parent that I wanted to be, the parent I knew I could be. Physically and emotionally, I couldn't be there for my family when they needed me, and that hurt worse than anything. For a period of time, I began to accept that this was just life. But as they say, when you least expect it, my life changed forever. I discovered the work of an independent nutrition and hormone researcher who studied the effects of aging and who soon gave me a brand new lease on life. I literally studied his work and research for months straight and slowly started putting together bits and pieces until I finally formulated the plan. That plan led me to put an end to my hypothyroidism, and that is the same plan that I want to share with you in just a minute. Now, it didn't happen overnight, but my energy levels quickly returned not only to normal, but I actually felt like I was young again. It was amazing to be able to walk into a house with screaming children and not feel overwhelmed, anxious, or the need to run away and escape. I took pride in knowing that I was finally able to be the parent I wanted to be, help in stressful situations, and be there for my children when they needed me most. And possibly most important, my wife and I were finally able to have the kind of relationship that we both knew we wanted. At first, I only shared this with a couple of close immediate family members who were dealing with some of the same issues as myself, and I honestly wasn't surprised when it worked for them. But it wasn't until I started sharing this plan with people over the internet that I realized that my life would never be the same. At that point, it had become quite clear that I had discovered my true calling in life. Fast forward to today, and now I'm consulting with people all over the world, as I mentioned earlier. Now, what do you think would happen if your cells were not able to get the thyroid hormone that they need to produce energy efficiently? Do you really believe that a lack of energy is the only consequence? The reality is that hypothyroidism has far more reaching and serious consequences than just that. And to help illustrate a very important point, I'm going to paint a vivid picture for you. This is extremely important to understand, so imagine, if you will, for a minute. You're driving down the street in your car, and out of the corner of your eye, you notice that you're low on fuel. So you do what any sane person would do, and you pull into the closest gas station. But there's one big problem. You didn't know it, but there's a major fuel shortage in your hometown, and there's only one gas station on the opposite side of town that still has any fuel. Out of desperation, you jump into your car and head for that gas station. But about halfway there, your car starts to shut down. Yep, you just ran out of fuel. You quickly make some phone calls hoping to find some help, only to find out that all the fuel service trucks in your area have been hijacked, and it's going to take hours or even days before you get any help. So there you are. You're sitting there, starving, exhausted, and stressed. Finally, you get lucky and someone stops to help. But unfortunately, there's only a tiny bit of fuel left, so you have no choice but to take what you can get. As you start your car, it begins making some horrible noises, and it's pretty obvious that your engine is badly damaged, and your car sounds like it can barely make it down the street. By the time your car sputters up to that gas station, complete anarchy has already broke out. Cars are crashing into each other, people are fighting and hurting each other, all because they can't get any fuel. The police show up and start trying to arrest the troublemakers, but the troublemakers overtake the police and things begin to quickly spiral out of control. It's just like one of those scenes straight out of the movies where the end of the world is upon us. What would you think if I told you that the end of the world, much like what you just imagined, was actually occurring inside your body every single day of the year? And it's destroying your thyroid in the process. I'll explain this in just a second. Just to give you one single example, this is exactly what happens inside your body every single day just from eating polyunsaturated fats in your diet, or PUFAs as those of us in the know like to call them. PUFAs suppress your thyroid on 3 different levels. On the first level, much like your hometown losing its source of fuel, PUFAs suppress your thyroid gland and prevent it from releasing thyroid hormone, thus preventing your body from producing enough energy to get you through your day. On the second level, much like your fuel service trucks being hijacked, PUFAs hijack the transport proteins within your bloodstream that are critical for delivering to your cells what little thyroid hormone your thyroid gland can produce. And on the third level, much like your car engine becoming damaged, PUFAs damage your cells, making it difficult for them to utilize what little precious thyroid hormone they can get their hands on. But it goes even deeper than that. On a deeper level, much like complete anarchy breaking out at the gas station, PUFAs cause complete anarchy inside your body from oxidative cell damage that spreads through your cells like wildfire. This causes your body to age at an accelerated rate, causing you to look years older and feel years older. On an even deeper level, much like the troublemakers overtaking the police, PUFAs kill your policing immune cells and suppress your immune system, leaving you susceptible to infection and diseases. But, on the deepest level, when your cells don't get enough thyroid hormone, as with the case of hypothyroidism, this causes a major and critical defect within your cells. This is how diseases like cancer and heart disease begin, grow, and eventually steal years of your life from you, without you even knowing it. And this has been proven by science. Nobel Prize-winning scientist Otto Warburg discovered and demonstrated this exact cell defect and its role in cancer more than 80 years ago. Brilliant thyroid doctor and research scientist Dr. Broda Barnes demonstrated that hypothyroidism causes heart disease to develop and that it can be reversed by correcting the hypothyroidism. It almost always starts back with hypothyroidism and the end result of your cells not getting the thyroid hormone that they need to stay healthy. But none of this is your fault. Before I discovered everything that I now know, I did everything by the book. I listened to my doctor who told me to eat plenty of whole grains and lean protein, the same exact healthy diet that was being pushed by every single doctor, website, magazine, TV